with my co-host Candy Nelson from Florida and coming to you live from Houston, Texas, actually outside of Houston, Sealy. Hope everyone's doing okay this evening. It's been a long, crazy week, has it not? And everything that's taken place the past few days and the big event that happened just recently. So we'll be talking about that a little bit this evening, maybe a lot. How you doing, Candy? Is everything going okay for you?
Yeah, typical crazy, chaotic week, but doing the
Yeah,
life.
I'm telling you, it seems like every day is crazier. I mean, just when you think like, okay, I've seen it all now. I've seen it all. There's not much more that's going to surprise me or that I haven't seen. And then you just step back and there it is. So, yeah, kind of that. And I myself, we were talking earlier, I was in an automobile incident 2 days ago. I got rear-ended by a one-ton pickup truck. Just careened me. Stopped at a stoplight. Look up in the rearview mirror, and I see this big old huge butt red pickup truck coming for me, and I'm just like, "Oh my gosh! Brace yourself!" I grab my steering wheel and I just hold on for dear life. So, needless to say, I am very much in pain right now. A little bit of pain and a little bit of soreness. Well, I'm not extreme amount of pain, but it hurt. It hurts a lot worse today, and I'm probably the third day, like they say. But my car is not okay. My car is not okay. So now just going through the insurance process. But you know, what's a girl to do? What's a girl to expect, right? That's how it
Yeah.
goes. So with that said, I know that we've both kind of had a wicked run for it. And anything you'd like to add or share to that before we go into the Make America Great Again? Because Lord knows we need to. We need to.
No, just I don't even begin to. See, I can't even talk. I was so
I
baffled
feel that.
yesterday from all the chaos for my children, and I'm like, oh my God, what the hell? I was shaking all
Never
over.
ending.
Yeah,
Yeah, never ending.
yeah. But
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but I was letting you take the stage there.
well, yeah, but the one daughter I told you about that there was a little issue with her teenager. Um, and her sister kind of thought she was offended when I called her. The one good part was I was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" Just checking on her. And she's like, "Hey, mommy, like, what are you doing?" She's like, "Oh, we're going shopping. We're gonna go buy some clothes." I was like, "Oh, thank God they're together. They're having some time
Hmm.
together, so that's good. At least she's not upset or on the edge of relapsing." And so I was like, "Thank God, at least that part worked out."
Right? Yeah. It's just, it's a hard world. It's a tough world we're all living in right now. Hello, hottie. Hope you're doing okay this evening. Just love you. You know that though. Just love you. Yeah. Oh yeah. Holy that for sure. By the way, that's what I was thinking. So I'm sure that's what we're all thinking actually on everything that's been happening lately. And also speaking of the assassination attempt on our former President Trump, which okay, you guys know that I have done multiple videos on the Illuminati card game as well as, especially recently, there's two that I did on that card game, which also shows Trump on one of those cards with a bullet whizzing right past his ear. And again, the card game
Yeah.
was made in 1992 by its inventor, Steve Jackson, based off of a 1975 book or a trilogy, I should say. So, yeah, I there's days I say I don't know what's going on, but how are these card games, this card game, predicting all of these things that are going on in our world, including 9/11, the Boston Marathon, Maui, Aloha. What we know what happened there. I mean, whether they want to admit that or not, and so many others, including our Franken food, the sky and the trailing manipulation, GMOs, UFOs, graphing up my nose kind of thing. There is so much going on. I
Is there
just
hey,
had
is there any was there anything in those cards about the Georgia Guidestones?
Well, yeah, that was in my very first one. So,
Oh, wow.
in fact, I was going to pull that up, but yeah, that was before the Georgia Guidestones blew up or got blown up. But that was one of my very first ones. And then, like, I think it was like a year later that happened. And I was just like, I've been trying to tell you guys this for so flipping long. But then I did the next one because Maui happened, right? And then all of a sudden, and I included the Trump card in there, so which I think I'll probably just pull up since we're on the topic tonight, and it seems like a good moment to do so because I'm not filled with a lot of overwhelming words tonight right now. I'm tired. Candy's tired. It's been rough. It's been rough. But one thing I do know is we do need to make America great again. And Candy, if you don't mind, I'm going to leave you on the stage for a moment, and I'm going to pull up those videos because you guys need to see this. I mean, there's something going on, and I'm sorry that woman trying to holster her gun. That's the new CIA or what? Yeah, the new the or Secret Services lady. What was her name? Hold on, I wrote it down. Oh yeah, Kim Cheetal or Chital. Kim, you need to go back to wherever you came from. Learn how to holster a gun. A 2-year-old could do that, and I could blow you right out of the water, and you're welcome. Yeah, I had to say that though. But all right, Kenny, I'm going to let you take the stage here, and I'm going to go ahead and pull those up because y'all need to see this. 1, 2, 3. Here you go.
Okay, so anyway, guys, while she's digging that out, I'll just let you know, like, I kind of figured out last night at the very last minute that I had to get up and go get blood work this morning, and I didn't have an appointment, so I was going as a walk-in. And so anyway, in the meantime, last night when I figured that out, I was like, oh crap. So I had got like back-to-back phone calls from 3 of my 4 children with some type of issue going on. And I thought that with all 3 of them trying to contact me, it was the same issue. Well, come to find out, it was all different issues that they were having and needed some advice or help or whatever. So I was just like, wow, I was stressing so bad and shaking all over. And I'm like, I got to go get this blood work in the morning. I don't have an appointment. I'm going as a walk in. I'm like, oh my gosh, what in the world? So I get up early this morning. I go into the blood lab and I get there and they had moved and I didn't realize they had moved to another location. So and I get back in my car, go find the new location. I get there, walk in. There was one person in the waiting room, and I'm like, well, this is strange, you know. So I'm sitting there, and they took my paperwork and everything, and other people had had appointments. So usually when you go as a walk-in, they schedule you whenever the next opening comes after the appointments. So people are walking in with appointments, and they said, well, if you have an electronic appointment, then we're not going to be able to help you today because they were trying to explain that Microsoft was down because they got hacked worldwide. And these people are getting upset because they're like saying, you don't understand, I have an appointment, but we can't access our files because, Microsoft got hacked. We can't help you. So people are getting angry because they had an appointment. Now I'm there as a walk-in, but when I went in, I had a hard copy of my doctor's orders. So I had not done anything electronically. So anyway, I was able to get in there and get my blood work this morning and pretty much get out pretty quick. But and then my neighbor, she was trying to go buy groceries and I'm a cash girl, I try to use my cash, but I've been trying to explain to her for the longest time that at least have some cash on you. So she goes to the grocery store, tries to get groceries, writes a check, and they told her they couldn't process it because it was not going through. So she thought it was a problem with the check. She writes another check. That one didn't go through either. So she had to wind up putting her groceries back because, again, I've been trying to explain to her, you can't always guarantee that, they're talking about going to a cashless society, but how can you do that when you're not totally
Financially secure, and they keep us that way.
right? And then, if there's no cash and Microsoft gets hacked or the digital currency or machine messes up or goes down or whatever, then how are you going to eat? So, it's important that we
Struggle's
try
real.
to, as much as possible right now, try to use cash and keep that cash moving because, if we lose that ability to
Yeah.
purchase with cash because everybody's okay with this digital electronic transfers when
The
things
grid's
like
just
this
got to go
happen.
one time.
Yeah, yeah, and it's like, okay, so what are you gonna do? And so if you can't use cash at all, then and you have no way to get groceries, what are you gonna do? It's like, yeah,
Yeah. I mean, it's
again,
a real thing, and it's obvious that that might be just a certain scenario right now, but that is a real scenario for so many every day. And first of all, having to get food should not be this way. We are there is something very evil going on in this world. I'm just going to put it like that first and foremost, but they are making money off of our sorrows. They are making bank off of our needs. And these are things that should have been free from the get-go. Free energy. There's an abundance of food. Food grows freely on this planet, and I get it. Things got to be packaged, this, that, and the other. But there is a way to do this without people having to suffer. It is infuriating. And again, I've told you all before, I think the whole presidential thing has been a puppet show from day one. I was huge, big voter. I went to those rallies. I went to those, places when they showed up. I was in vote this, vote. And I was at Bush Juniors, and which I am so sad to admit right now. But the wake up call is we know it's a bunch of BS at this point. But I do believe that God can do his magic, his great work on people, and that includes Trump, who might be of a bloodline. But let me tell you what, we're all more than likely of a certain bloodline because it sure as heck ain't pure for any of us. I know that much. So whether it's a puppet show or not, and whether they say that things are staged or not, is neither here nor there. The fact that, for instance, and I know I'm switching back to the topic here with Trump turning his head just at the right second where that bullet should have came like right here, but when you turn it that second and it just grazes your ears, that is divine intervention. That's your Lord God Almighty. I mean, if the cards can predict this, and they did, and many other things, but turning the head at the last second, nobody's brave enough to sit there and say, okay, so marksman's gonna like take a shot at me, and I'm just gonna at the count of three turn my head, and he's just gonna graze my ear, and nobody's gonna be able to stage that like that. So this is what I know for sure. There's a God that definitely protected him the other day, without doubt. This might have been staged. He could have very well known. He may not have known. It's on the card though. It is on the card. His face is there, saying enough, and
yeah, she's
back to
talking
where
about
we're
the
going.
Illuminati card. She's talking about the Illuminati card, if y'all didn't hear that
Yeah,
earlier.
and that's what I was saying. Back to where we're going. I'm getting ready to play the video right now. Of the Illuminati card game. Again, if you're just joining us, the Illuminati card game was invented by Steve Jackson in 1994, and it is based off of a 1975 novel by Robert Anton Shea, a trilogy actually. And everything on those cards show the exact things that happened after. I mean, like predates the things that happened. So just keep that in mind, okay? This is as real as it gets. Nobody can make this up. So if you're watching this, please feel free to Google the Illuminati card game, when it was invented, when it came out, and then ask yourself this after I show you this: how could they have known exactly? I mean, we're talking down to the exact moment, years before the actual occurrences took place. So with that said, bear with me because I am still trying to get this right, but I think we got this. And I'm gonna go back to here. All right, now I just gotta push play. I actually did it. Go me. And yeah, guys, I know my hair color is a little different right now. I had to change it up for a surveillance. I told you next time you saw me, I'd cut it off. So yeah, I did cut quite a bit off, but that dang C word that wasn't, it was radiation. All right, here we go. have that many black copies. Nobody. Except for this targeted, you can see that little fly by there. So they called the man that had pointed dragons. Now here's where it gets good, y'all. Hold on to your spurs and your britches. The Illuminati card game, New World Order, was invented by Steve Jackson in the early 90s. It was inspired by the 1975 book The Illuminati Trilogy by Robert Anton Wilson and Robert Shea. The game involves omnia secret societies competing with each other to control the world through various means, including legal, illegal, and even mystical events. Now, if I may take a moment of your time, I would like to ask that you please look and listen very closely to what I'm getting ready to show you. All the while keeping in mind that, again, this card game was made in the early 90s. And sadly, this is just a few of the many, many others that are included in that evil deck of cards. After you see these cards, tell me, do any of them look familiar? Ask yourself that question first. And lastly, after you answer that, remember, and might I remind you, again, this was invented in the early 90s, based off of a book in 1975. I'm pretty sure that this gives conspiracy theory a whole new and different meaning. The conspiracy portion's correct, but I'm pretty sure that that throws the theory right out the window. I'm just saying. Oh wait, hold up. This one looks familiar. I remember back on September, I believe that date was the 11th in 2001, and nowhere close to, any early 90s. that happened. But hey, what do I know? Well, I do know one thing, that there is a card game that was made in the early 90s, nowhere near 2001 by the way, with a picture of what? Oh yeah, the Twin Towers and also the Pentagon on fire. Plane flying into them, something like that. I'm pretty sure that's how that story went, but it wasn't a story. It was real life, guys. Real life. But the card's real life too. It was just made, earlier than that. Need I remind you all of how many lives were lost that day? Because of what? A game that somebody decided to toy with our lives with? I'm just putting that out there once again. Pay attention. I mean, what? What do you really think? That this was just some sort of lucky guess? A coincidence? I mean, really? How many lucky guesses could one possibly get? I mean, we'd all be millionaires by now if we had that kind of luck, right? Just go gamble a little and be rich? Come on. What are the odds? Oh, well, I guess they're pretty good for this little group of people, huh? Whoa. Wait, hold up. Didn't Obama take office in 2009? And if I'm not mistaken, didn't Trump take office in, whizzing past his ear right there.
Yeah, no, it was exactly that.
You guys saw that, right?
But,
there.
Somehow they knew in the 90s. Man, can you imagine being that smart and gifted? I mean, that evil and stupid? Yeah, me neither. Well, perhaps unless it was already maybe planned. I'm just saying.
So you think?
This kind of rings a bell. I mean, LED lights being installed, new towers going up everywhere, all these plans of changing the world, and you look in the sky, and there, in fact, is 1,000 points of light.
Book, and you should read it.
Not made by my God, by the way. Man, I'm working up a sweat. Is anyone feeling like a little warm these days? I was just wondering, that's all. Wait, did you all hear something? Do you hear that? Someone saying something about going and unloading on a public place or something like that? I could have sworn I heard something. Obey, 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 they say. Or else, apparently. There's a few out there that know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Well, hello and aloha. Someone sent some love in your direction, if that's what you want to call it. You're being framed? Darn right you are. Getting ready to frame it and hang it right above, well, a target or two. You're welcome. You want to know what happens next? Well, I suggest you just take a peek at the cards. These cards, they're not even close to the actual events that happened. They're dead on. Well, I'd have to say, Matthew 24:6 about sums it up now, doesn't it?
Been hearing about that for a while.
A world on fire and so many clowns every which way I look.
And sadly, we're almost out of time. We can't predict that, though. Now roll the credits, as all credit belongs to Him, and only Christ can save us. Okay. So, I'm going to remove this real quick. Like I said, I have another one. We're going to remove that source. Before doing so, though, you all saw that full-fledged there. So any comments that you want to add to this would be, I mean, if you guys have an excuse for it or you think it's BS, how could it be? It was made in 1994. I said 94 by Steve Jackson, based off a 1975 book by Robert Anton Shea of the Illuminati trilogy. So, I mean, this right here is in your face. That's all I can say. And Candy, I'm going to put you on the stage one more time. I'm going to pull up the other, and then we're going to call it a night. So here we go. You might want to say what you think about that too, but it's bizarre. It's bizarre stuff.
Well, you know, it's kind of like, okay, how can you, I mean, I even saw the cards about the Boston Marathon and different things like that, and I'm like,
Yeah,
holy
that was
crap.
in there. Isn't that mind
I
blowing?
remember, I remember years ago there was like a novelty store. It was called Spencer's, and they had those Illuminati cards back then. And I mean, I was a teenager. It was like, so it would have been in the, let me think, it's probably in my 20s. So talking
The
about 40
90s?
years ago. Well, no, it had to have been before that.
See,
Because,
that's what's bizarre because they say it was in 94, but I have so many people that's around your age as well that also
right?
say that they existed way before
Yeah,
1994, according to
'cause
that.
I
It's
remember. I
crazy.
remember seeing them thinking to myself, I'm not buying that evil. But now I'm thinking to myself, man, I should have bought that. At least I would have something solid in my hand that I could
Yeah.
refer to what's
I've
going on
actually had
currently.
the opportunity many times to purchase it. I refuse to. I feel like I mean, I know I'm showing it online and on the internet, and I have no problem researching it, especially for the reasoning as to proving Jesus Christ and the fact that there is real and true evil here. But I'm afraid if I ever held the solidity portion of that in my hands, that I might be supporting the cause. And I think that's why I've always just kind of refrained.
And
Because there's been many
that's
times I
the way I
almost
feel
purchased
about.
it.
Yeah, but that's the way I feel about things too. But in all actuality, if you think about it, I mean, if I would have bought that back then and these
You
things
could
are
have proven
happening
it now.
now,
Yeah.
yeah. And I'm like, it's just
Yes.
like, again, even with my vision that I had about September 11th, you know, I was afraid to speak out and tell anybody. I didn't even know what to
Yeah.
do with it. But the one
Yeah.
person I did tell about it was my mother, and she's passed away since then. So,
Yes.
but I mean, I can tell
That's
the
what's
story after the
bizarre,
fact.
though. You're right. The
Yeah.
fact that we're given these visions and sometimes I don't know, a spiritual gift maybe as what one might call when you can see things beforehand like you did.
Mm.
It's very real and it happens to people all the time and people don't listen. And sometimes, like you said, it was hard. You didn't know what was going on, what you were seeing, and um, I think that
And
we can miss that easily.
I was afraid. I was so afraid of being judged or laughed at or ridiculed that I just, the only person, like I said, that I told was my mother,
I can't.
and I told my husband. But still, even to this day, I'm telling him, I'm like, do you remember me telling you about this before it even happened? And,
Yeah.
he's just, well, no, he
Yep.
kind of has that wall up, but
100%. I totally. It's crazy, and I think sometimes. I mean, it happens to many of us, and sometimes we just don't know. We get judged harshly anyway. But all right, I have
it's
this next video up. I'm gonna go ahead and share it really quick, and then we'll wrap it
cat.
up at the
Let me
end.
just say to Kat, we talked about that September 11th vision that I had in one of our other podcasts.
Three
But
podcasts back,
tonight
I believe.
we plan on making this kind of short tonight, but we can get into that another night. I'll be glad to talk about it, but I just want to let you know I wasn't ignoring your your question, but again, we're kind of like had a bad week, both of us, and trying to get through this tonight because she's not going to be able to do it next week. We
Maybe
don't think
not.
we're going to be next week, but
Yeah. I'm supposed to be in
anyway, so
Vancouver. Yeah, Vancouver,
yeah,
Cat's in Canada. I'm supposed to be there next week, Tuesday. So
yeah, it was a pretty in-depth visions that I had prior to September 11th, like for months, day after day after day. So it's a good thing to share.
did it start already?
But
Oops, I'm sorry,
another
guys.
time, another time for that though.
I didn't know
Okay,
I
go ahead.
already had that up. Sorry, guys.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Lise.
I'm getting better at this though, but I didn't master it very well just now. Let's see if we got this. Yeah.
One can hardly wrap their mind around it.
All right,
It's a moment in time when you actually notice, when you actually
like I said, I'm getting
realize
better. I am. I
that
gotta
truth,
believe in myself a little.
sometimes so corrupt that one can hardly wrap their mind around it. It's a moment in time
Is it even up?
when you actually
Oh my
notice,
goodness,
when you
guys.
actually realize that truth actually is stranger than fiction. There is a certain multiplayer card game known as the Illuminati card game, and also the Illuminati New World Order. It first made its appearance in the early 90s by its inventor, Steve Jackson. This card game would come to predict, or possibly foretell, what was already set into place from the very beginning. And from it, tragic, undeniably evil things. Things that would actually come to be and transpire,
Sorry, guys.
causing pain, heartache, disaster, and destruction while wounding and maiming the human race. These things to come left their mark by leaving battle scars and wounds for the entire world to bear and carry as their own cross. Things that some would say were pure coincidence, but as they slowly started to unfold and one by one they took place, and leaving the world completely stunned, forever questioning and wondering how so many coincidences could ever come to be,
We're Gemini.
and if, in fact, it was predicted from the beginning because it was planned
We're
from the
being
beginning.
a little bit ahead here.
Things that you will soon come to recognize. And it's unfortunate. But it's true. Now be prepared. You are now getting ready to witness
This was
things
my
that will
first
shock
one, by
you.
the way, Candy.
And things that will forever change you. Now please remember, this 90s card game, it predates things that will come to be.
I made this one about 5 years ago. I had to repost it several times. I'm taking it down.
Are things starting to look familiar yet? If not, just wait. How about now?
Never had those flying over me. Every day, all day long. But that kind of harassed me. A book about it. What do you know? People posting about it. What do you know? I've never been there.
I bet many of you are familiar with this.
There you go.
Familiar?
You guys saw that, right? I literally, like, mind-blowing to me. I've got to go back there. Hold on, guys. I want you to look closely.
I bet many of you are familiar with this.
Very familiar, thank you. There we go. You guys see this, right? How could they predict this face in 1994? Enough is enough. That is a slogan well known coming out of Donald Trump's mouth.
Look familiar?
But better yet, how'd they get this one? This is a bullet whizzing past his ear. Doesn't matter what anyone says. I mean, why else would you put that graphic portion on this card made in 1994 where he became the president of the United States? He is now the former one. Or why is Barack Obama on there as well? Or anything else, including the 9/11. And that should be the biggest one. I actually should have focused on that first and foremost, but this was also overwhelming when I discovered it. But this right here should really leave you guys scratching your nuggets, okay? I'm just saying. All of this should. Barack Obama, I wonder where that came from. It wasn't in 1994, y'all. It's just mind-blowing.
Just check out Antarctica lately, which was once covered in ice. God, black sheep. Have you any proof? Bet you didn't know what you were eating.
Candy and I can tell you. You guys know your food don't taste the same anymore.
This gets where it gets real.
Georgia Guidestones, lovelies. That was before they were blown up when I made this video, so at least some of us knew about it. Captain America, that's next. It's showing you the government's doing the flying saucer thing.
Now go ahead and take it all in. Are you starting to get the picture?
Probably not. But one could sure hope. Television programming, yo. Don't stop this bombing. I've heard that. Oh, warehouse. Yeah, you guys have heard all this. I know you have. And there will be one. Religion. There you go. Dollars for decency. all know about the car bomb. And did you see the New World Order tag on that? The White House is filled with that. Yeah, watch your TV there. Just saying. Wonder why people are losing their teeth, yet all the mummies have theirs. Wonder why that got burned. All in the clouds. Blood transfusion, anyone? Yeah. It's bizarre. It's so real. Taking us out. Using our time. All this sounds familiar. You guys should know what it was. New World Order. I've never heard of that one.
Now let
Been
me
around
ask you
for
something.
years.
Are you wide awake yet? Or are you still fast asleep? Now let me ask you something. Because it's time. Are you wide awake? Time grows ever so near. Or are you still fast asleep? Time to make a choice.
Alrighty then. You heard it here first, folks. I'm gonna shut that puppy down. So believe your eyes, believe your ears, believe what you see, or be systematically trained in the educational system and turn the other cheek, because apparently that's what everyone's been good at lately. How in the holy heck are we going to make America great again if we couldn't make it great in the first place? Just saying. Just saying. All right, Candy. I think that we did enough damage for the evening. Maybe not enough, but I think we could add some more damage later, or maybe just some deprogramming that we need to we got a lot of work to do. That's all I know. It's just
Yeah,
scary.
I don't know. I just know I'm getting more excited as our date for you to come to Florida is like getting closer and closer.
No, me too. I am excited. I can't wait. You guys do not understand how hard it is for Morgellons people to, or anyone on the conspiratorial side. Oh, that's a bad word. No, it's not. Shut up with your programming stuff already. I mean, seriously, we're tired of it. Watch Candace, watch Tucker Carlson, watch all the people that are waking up and know the truth. You're welcome. You're welcome. Oh, whizzing by the ear there on old Trump. You're welcome again. It's not conspiracy anymore, y'all. But you have no idea how hard it is for people like us to get together. Candy and I had the amazing pleasure of her. Well, she came to Texas, and I had the amazing pleasure of getting to meet her here. And then we had a road trip all the way to New Mexico together, straight through the night, talking all night. So much to say. It was so fun. And I can't wait to do it again because I'm telling you, there's a dark force that keeps us apart, right? Typically.
Yeah,
So nothing's going to stop us now. I'm going to make a
I
song
know.
about that.
I know. And George was like, "Well, how long are you gonna be gone?" I was like, "I don't know. I could do like Thelma and
Ever?
Louise and
Ever?
never come back. I do Thelma and Louise and never come back. Okay."
That's right. We're Thelma and Louise. We've always done that. Thelma and Louise are gone, guys. We need to just make a sequel to that, or maybe the threequel. Like Thelma and Louise never come home or never go back. Maybe that's what it's going to be. So, anyways, I love you as always. You know I do, and I'm getting so excited. We're like what, 21 days away, somewhere in there from. I'm meeting her in Florida. I'm going to a family reunion in Florida, and she's going to drive from her town to where I'm going to be, and we are going to educate the minds and wake the world and play on the beach a little bit and have some fun. And I know there's black goo, but when it's already in you, what you gonna do? I'm just kidding. That was a bad joke, but it was my joke. So, anyways, I love you guys very, very, very much. And I think that this might get censorshiped. I'm not gonna lie, so I hope you catch it while it's still up, everybody. If not, share it now. Share it now while you can. Thank you. Please and thank you.
All right.
Please and
So
thank you.
maybe not. We may or may not be on next week. So
Yes, that is a true story. And you guys already know we are unpredictable, but the world is unpredictable. And the best thing is the element of surprise, right? So, I mean, at least you'll have that. I don't know if that's a good thing, but as of now, I might be gone to Vancouver. Well, actually, it's Sumer, Washington, which borders that. I think there's a Sumer, Canada, and Kat, correct me if I'm wrong, and then there's a Sumer, Washington. I'm going to be in that area. But right now, it's looking like it may not happen, but you never know. So no promises ever made. Just look for us and just know that eventually we're going to be here because we love you guys very much. So yeah. All right, Candy, I love you. Get some rest, and I hope you have a more relaxed weekend for sure. All right, guys. See you.